Hello and welcome back to Can We Survive the Moon? And as we always say, so far so good. And we last left off with creating this assembler bay or assembler plant or whatever we want to call it. So then we have now 12 working assemblers. So let's get started. Alright, so it's a bit dark out here. I think the sun is going to come up fairly soon. But we did get these assembler bays up and running in the meantime. So 12 of them, which is great. So lots to do here. So I was also thinking about doing something with it, with some cargo containers, and when, as I mentioned from the last episode, the whole repeat mode here. And same as someone had commented as well, maybe we should repeat and store in a cargo container. So I was initially thinking large cargo containers, but what's the point? We could always store it in regular small cargo containers in that way. But how we're going to do that is kind of the question. So basically, we could do it on this end here. It just needs a sorter and a small cargo container, but that's going to stick out up to here. So there's it's not going to be a lot of space to move around. Well, I guess it'll work fine up top. It just wouldn't work that great down here. That's the main piece. But we also need to link it backwards to spit it out. So we might have to do it out here towards the back, if anything. So we might either have to extend the station or leave it exposed or whatever the case may be. So basically, in order to do that, I needed to be able to go into the assembler and then for it to kind of spit out the specific needs of a... Yeah, I think actually we won't be able to do it from here. Or we can, but then we have two of them connected together to do that. Because everything's connected regardless. So how would we do that? I mean, I was thinking doing it over here. We have a sorter, goes into a small cargo container, and then another sorter to come back into it. But could we do that back here? Where maybe... No, that's not going to work because then it's going to come... It has to be connected directly to the assembler in this case. Not going to work out too great. But actually, yeah, we could do that where it's going to just come straight down. So basically what I'm thinking in this case, we could do something like this. So we do a conveyor down this way. And then we do a sorter, I think. Which direction is which when it comes to this thing? I think it's this way. That's the arrows going down, I think. So we just do it this way. And that's going to go into a cargo container like that. And then that's going to go back out into another sorter. And pipe it back into here. So either we do multiple cargo containers, which I don't think we necessarily need. So we could just go with, let's just say for now, a pipe like this. Just pipe it back in here. But we also need a sorter right here. So that's going to go this way. So basically, this assembler, let's just say this is going to be steel plates, right? So it's going to assemble steel plates. And it should sort it through here and put the steel plates in here and be able to spit out the steel plates. I guess that could kind of work. That sounds like it would work. But would that have worked if I put it here anyways? Probably. Because either way, this is going to take all the steel plates from anywhere else in the cargo container side of things. We could have potentially put it anywhere, I think, right? As long as we sort it to go out into a cargo container and back in, then it should be fine at any point in time anyway, right? Would that make sense? I think so. So I don't think it necessarily needs to be built here. Although it doesn't look that bad. All right, so if that's the case, I mean, can we just build it out here? Okay, so then that means this one here is, I'm just going to shorten it, sorter steel plate in. So this one is going to be only whitelisting steel plates, right? So steel plates. Right here. Add that in there. Do we do drain all? I guess we do. And this one is going one direction anyway, so we just, I guess we could do the same thing. We don't have to whitelist because it's just whatever's in here can come out into there, so it can't come back in. So actually, yeah, we don't necessarily need to do much with that. We don't need a whitelist or anything like that, but we do need to call this the sorter steel plate out, if anything. I think that could work okay. Now, should we extend this out a little bit more to be more beneficial? Probably. Because I also do need to put in event controllers. Whether it's going to be a larger one or a small grid. I mean, we could create a whole bay of small ones right over here, which wouldn't be too bad. So basically, we could do a rotor, whether it's attached to a wall like this or like this. Doesn't even matter, I guess. Or we could even put it in the middle back here. I think we could do it in the middle back here, which would be fine. But then we gotta cut this off, this is only temporary anyway. So let's just say we take that off for now, and then we put it back here. Actually, didn't have to do that. I was gonna put it here, actually. So this rotor, which I have no idea which rotor it is now. Actually, it's detached, so that works out. So put a small head in there. We'll lock it as well. We rotor lock it. Right? And then we have the little head there. And that's where we can add in a few blocks here. I do wonder, can I just put a welder right over here? Like that. Nope, we have to be a little bit further back, looks like. Can we just throw one here like this? Turn it on. Throw in the steel tubes. I mean, that's steel tubes, steel plates. And all right, that can only do that quickly, so that's not really, it's fast. It beats me doing this for sure, but don't really have the spacing to do all that, so that's fine for now. Let me see, do we have room? Yeah, we have room here. Basically just throw in a welder right here. Turn it on. How does that work? How did it weld it up without any steel plates in this thing. That's interesting and awkward. I'm not in creative mode or anything like that. That's... Huh. I'm very confused by that. Why is it doing that? Actually, let me try that again. So here's the welder. There's nothing in there. It's not connecting to anything. Turn it on. I wonder. Or it doesn't even matter because that's one steel plate. Is that how it works? Right? Hold on. I think that's how it works actually. And I actually never knew that for some odd reason. Yes, that's just how it works. Okay, that was dumb of me. Alright, you learn new things as you still continue to play. Interesting enough. Alright. Okay, the only thing I don't like about this is that it does impede having me walking through here, especially if we're going to throw in a whole bunch of event controllers here. So, the small event controller, I think we already have an event controller here somewhere. Yep, we do. So, you see an event controller is as tiny as this. So, we can work our way around here. So, let's just say top one is going to be up top here. If we need it to be like that, that's perfectly fine. So we'll throw this one up here just to do a quick little test. The unfortunate piece here is that there's no controls on that piece. So that's not great. So that means we need some kind of control or button or something small grid. I mean, we could do control consoles, but what does this look like? It says it's a small grid for some reason. Oh, right there. There's a actual console button here. But it doesn't have a computer that I need. Here's a console module. What's this look like here? Oop, there's a bit of a display there. Let me just... Alright, that could work. Because it gives me all this in terms of a button, but don't really need it like that. I guess we could utilize this. Unfortunately, we can't put it right down the center, which stinks. We could also put one like this to control everything. It actually looks pretty interesting to do. Probably doesn't make the most sense. Okay, so you can activate it through the computers here instead of sitting down. So that works out. I technically don't need this here, but let's leave it for now since I can also get energy from here. But the event controller, I don't even know which is which at this point. Yeah, how am I going to tell which is which? Because none of them are named. Oop. That's not what I wanted to do. So anyway, this is top right. Or top left, I should say. Here's the event controller. This one. Incomplete one. So this is the top left one. And the sorters I did name at one point, but I actually changed it up. So this one is the in. That's fine. And this is the one that goes out. Nope, I did have that all sorted. No pun intended. So let's see. So the event controller top left, or we don't need to say top left actually. We just say steel plate. And basically we could say when the cargo is filled at a specific percentage. And it's only equal or greater than. Let's just say if it's equal to 100%. Or if it's greater than or equal to 100%. Then we have the block basically, or not the block, the assembler to be on to produce more steel plates. That makes sense? That should make sense. So this one here, small car container. So we can just say steel plate And cargo container in this case. Oh, and the assembler I need to rename. So this is the steel plate one. So this is the steel plate assembler. Okay. So let's see. How do we program this? We do event controller. We say cargo is filled at 100%, equal greater than. We do the steel plate. No, steel plate assembler. No, steel plate cargo, because that's the threshold for this block. So the action here would be the steel plate assembler off, while the second one would be on. That makes sense? Yeah. The event is cargo filled percentage greater or equal to 100%. Output is action 1, which is off. I think that works out. Looks like we might have to get rid of this if we want to plumb this up the right way around. So this should actually be the T shape for now. Let's see here. Is this gonna work out okay? So the steel plate cargo is completely filled. So that means the action here should be off, but it's not off just right now. But let me get rid of cooperative mode here and get rid of all this. Basically, you just want to do that on repeat. And of course we do... Ooh, we gotta turn this one off actually. Alright, off. How many steel plates can we store in here? Only 5,000. So, that's not a lot. So potentially we store a little more than that would be ideal, right? Yeah, I think so. So we add in on the cargo container right over here. That might work out okay. So then that way we can have 10K at a time. And this will be steel. Oh, nope. Yeah. Steel plate cargo container 2. This will be 1 in this case here. And then that means that 1 event controller will need to take care of 2 steel plate cargo containers. So both of these. Yes. Do we need to do AND gate here? I think so, right? The first action is triggered if each block meets the condition, else the second action is triggered. That sounds about right, because if it is not full, this thing should be on. So now these cargo containers are completely filled. So all the steel plates are still kind of everywhere. But for an example, if I took out... I probably won't be able to do this because we have steel plates everywhere. I mean, in this case, do we even just do a large cargo container for this one specifically? I don't know. And I feel like I should have put it here, actually, because this one is the one that's working that out. And it has nothing to do with this one. I may have to design this a little bit better, but, you know, for now, it's concept-wise to just make sure it works. But I think it's not going to show that it's going to work if we have it like that. And the only problem now, too, is I can't just pull it out of my ship, because it's just going to collect it, because these are on collect all, unless we turn that off. So the sorters, let's turn off the drain all for now. And then if I can move everything into something like in this container, if anything. So all the steel plates, again, just looking for concept wise to see if this kind of works out okay. I'm trying to move everything out in terms of steel plates. If I can. Was this the sorter? That's fine. That's the steel plates for there. Okay, I think we got all the steel plates in here. So let's just say proof of concept. We take everything into this cargo container. We'll take that. We'll leave that alone and that alone. Okay. And then that means we get in here. Let's just unhook off of it real quickly. Just gonna situate self right on the ground with 7K of steel plates. Okay, so we could now do we don't have to do this, but sorter, drain all. All right, so moment of truth to make sure this event controller actually works. So the event controller right here is on. Okay, that changed everything. So if the input is steel plate container 1 at 100% and this 100%, then action output number 1. Otherwise, it should be action output number 2. So I think that should work, right? So right now this is off. So if I grab some steel plates out of this into my cargo, my own self, that should turn this on until it situates itself in terms of filling it up. I mean, it's completely filled up. And you're still producing. Okay. But that doesn't really work. What did I do wrong there? Yeah, that's filled. But you know what? It's even though it was filled, I don't see it going anywhere though. That's interesting. And we might have too much of those cooperative mode. So right now output is action 2. Because it's filled. Right? Am I going crazy here? Alright, whatever I collected, I'm just gonna throw in here. So if I grab 302, this should turn on. And it's not turning on. So the event control here, output action 2. So am I going a little nuts here? What is going on? Nowhere. Actually, no. Wait, hold on. We're thinking this all wrong, I think, still. So the event controller, right now, it's greater than 95, so it's doing action number 1. So action number 1 should actually be turn it off. Yeah, that's what I have it as, right? So right now the output is action 1, so why isn't it turning off? So this one should be off, but it's not. What is going on here? Do we do the opposite? Do we have to put this on there too as a block? Do we have 2 steel plate assemblers running or something? I mean, what is that about? No, we only have 1 steel plate assembler. Yeah, I don't know why it's not turning off. I'm a little bit confused. So if we made this the opposite, well, nope, this is off. This is on. So right now, technically supposed to still be on. What am I missing here? What is it that is not telling it to turn off? I'm a little bit confused here. All right, let's look at this again. So right now it's saying output action 1. And then if I go 100%, it's greater or equal to... Yeah, that all makes sense how that kind of works. What am I missing? So if the threshold, let's just say... What happens if we turn the AND gate on? Is that how it works too? Maybe that's how it works? I don't know. So right now it should be action number 1. Right? And action number 1 is supposed to say off because we're equal or we're greater or equal to 90%. So that should turn off the action number 1, which is this one here. And if it dips below that, then it should really turn it on. But I'm hearing this to be on now. So did I make it turn on by doing what I just did? I'm not quite sure. All right, we're gonna just dump a whole bunch of the steel plates out once again, just to be sure. Okay. So this should meet the conditions. Let's see. We're at 95.1. And this one should still be off. Okay, perfect. So we keep dumping the steel plates out for now. All right, that turned on. Okay, perfect. I dumped the bottle. Did I? No.
Inventory full.
So that turned it on, which is fine. But it's got to turn it off, though. So if I fill it back in, it sounds like it's stopped this time around.
Inventory full.
So that is perfect.
Inventory full.
Okay, so that means we could keep 10k worth constantly
Inventory full.
in here. Although we don't need 10k constantly because we won't be able to grab that much out all at once anyways. That's fine. Okay, so it sounds like it's working with the AND gates, which is what it's supposed to be working that way. It's supposed to work that way. Okay, that sounds great. So now it is greater than equal to that, so it's turned into action 1, which is off. Okay, that's exactly how I kind of wanted to work, and now it's working. Okay, to make it even go even further than that, if we wanted to go crazy here, we could do some kind of light, or I'm thinking a vent system in this case, where we could just plop this here. Where's the vent part? Right here. Right? To show that it's on. So if I did something like this. And with the vent on like that. Let me see if I can get to a control room. So the vent itself. Oh, not event. Vent. So you turn on the vent like that. I don't know if it's emitting anything because it's not like this thing moves. So I just open. Okay, that didn't really work as I wanted it to work out. So it's not really emitting anything because it's power dependency determines how much of the glow effect is dependent on power consumption percent of the grid. So since it's not much of a power consumption, it's not gonna show too much. It just opens the vent up, which is not exactly what I wanted. But I mean, sure. I guess the other better bet would be probably a light system, like that. The only problem is I gotta figure out which light that is. So we have the, not corner lights, it's the interior light right here. It's gonna be, let's just say the steel plate interior lights. And we'll just have this go green, right? Is that right? Yes. So it's glowing green right now. And we'll turn it off if it's not on. So if you really, really want to go this route of doing a vent, a light, to have this turned on, we would need like a timer. So would that make, should we do it that way? Probably not, but might as well. So a nice little timer block right over here. So we can have that sitting there. So that's the steel plate timer block. So that's our first block we have here. So let's just steel plate timer block. Don't necessarily need a delay for that. That's fine. So the steel plate timer block should house the setup action of the assembler, which is the steel plate assembler, right? This one. First action should be off. That means the light should be off. The vent, I don't have to vent here, do I? Heat vent should be off. Oh, here, increase intensity. I think that's what we need to turn on, actually. But we'll turn this off for now. So let's go to the heat vent, right? Power dependency is 0. And if we do intensity of the light, so if we do, let's just say 10%, that's probably going to run a lot of power. Steel plate heat vent. So that should open up when it's on, right? Let's see. The heat vent right here. So it's on now, actually, and it's not really doing anything. That's great. Well, I guess it just opens up like that, right? Is that how it works? I think so. Yeah, it's just the light. So, with that set, we also need a timer block number 2. So basically, the timer block right here is another timer block. So steel plate timer block. This is going to be the on. And this is the off, actually. So our setup option here would be the assembler to be on, the light to be on, and the vent to be on. So that's how that should work. So now we go back to the event controller. Select action. Instead of choosing the assembler itself, we choose the timer block. So first action is going to be off. Right here. I'm going to do trigger now, not delay it. And then the on, we do trigger now as well. And that should work, I believe. So if I start extracting the steel plates as I did before, this should eventually trigger it to turn on. So I think we have way too much steel plates in here, so we're just going to keep dragging them this way until something turns green or on. There we go. It's on. That's on. Vents opened, which I may have put upside down, I believe. I don't think we need the vent, but the light would probably do us much better.
Inventory full.
And then we just
Inventory
basically
full.
throw everything back
Inventory
in.
full. Inventory.
And then it's
Inventory
no longer
full.
on. So we got that working, so perfect. Took us a while to figure that out, but it worked out. So we got 10k of steel plates coming out this unique thing. I guess if we do another section of these. So right now, which we have the top one doing steel plates, the bottom one could be doing something else as well. So we can stagger all these if need be. How am I going to stagger all of it? That's the question. Because they can't be touching the cargo container, so it needs to be spaced out, if anything. Yeah, I don't know how this would work. I mean, we should have done it starting from up here and connect it correctly. Like this one should have been probably a T shape. We have the sorter doing the same exact thing, but then the cargo container would be up here, right? And then from down here, this block, we could do the same down here towards the bottom. I mean, that could work, but I mean, you could probably put this anywhere, to be honest, based on how we're doing this. So we don't need it to be here. We probably could do its own storage station as well, similar to what we have down here. We could even put it part of the large cargo containers, but we don't need that much steel plates in going to a large cargo container. This would do fine, but again, yeah, we don't necessarily need to put it on here because as long as we have this set up like this, kind of looping around and back into the system, we should be okay. I mean, right now we have steel plates pretty much still laying around in empty in some storages. I guess we call it, it's like overflow basically, which is fine. So yeah, I think we do our own quite of a bit of a station to do maybe 1 or 2 cargo containers to do it this way. But again, this was gonna like concept wise to see if it works. I mean, visually, you could probably just put it all together, but not necessary. So yeah, let's build a station to do that eventually. And this whole thing here doesn't have to be here as well. So we could move all this into a bigger station and kind of design it out to do it like this. And or we could just put it here somehow, right? So like it doesn't, I don't even know what to do with this, to be honest. These could be filled up with like other storage or items that we necessarily need. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I feel like we should just do the station right over here, actually. If we can, that'd be great. Which probably would be the best bet. But right now, at least we have it all set up where we can get at least steel plates constantly running. So if we need to build out this whole entire platform, at least, yeah, we just grab the steel plates, and if we run out of any steel plates here, we'll just have a good number of them. We constantly have, what's that, 5208 times that by 2, basically. So about 10k 416 worth of steel plates constantly running. So that's not bad. We don't necessarily need that either. Like, we could just have 5k running at most. By the time we finish producing or using it, we should have some 5k worth of materials there anyway. So more or less, we just need 5k worth. So actually 2 cargo containers is probably not as worth it. But another thing to kind of look at is how much large steel tubes can we store in a small cargo container, to be honest. So we went to like a large cargo container, just dump everything in there. Large steel tubes, we can only store 411. So I mean, I don't see a big need to have a lot of large steel tubes all at once, because we can have it 400 and let it keep producing as we use it. That's not that bad. I mean, even for myself, I can't even carry that much. I can only carry 23. So yeah, it looks like I just got to make a station for all the different items that we produce. So technically, it would be quite a bit here. So we have 5, 10, 15, 21 different materials in terms of components, but we also have other things to look at as well. Well, we don't really need these. It's more or less the 21 components here. So that's not too bad. You need to set up 21 sorters kind of like this. So maybe we could copy and paste it as well and kind of figure it out. And we could do like a nice cross piping, and one goes this way, one goes that way, one comes from this side, and that one comes that side to save space. Or we just line it up like this, all the same. Again, we just need 21 of these, which is a lot. So we just gotta figure that part out. I mean, temporarily we could leave this as is, but what else do we need? I mean, steel plate is more or less the biggest piece. And then of course we have We have interior plates and construction components as probably your other most needed materials for anything. So we could just do that as well temporarily. Should we? I don't know. Okay, so that works out okay. But yeah, I think we're gonna move this into a new station. We're gonna move this whole control piece here out of the way as well. Technically, we didn't have to do it this way. We could have thrown it inside and embedded it in here, if anything. But it's a nice little wall of small grid. An interesting way of doing things. All right, so other things we could work on is basically, well, we're gonna have to flatten this whole piece out here. Only because we are planning to utilize this space for the, whatchamacallit. So let me move the ship a little bit over here for now. Okay, nice soft kabloom landing. We gotta flatten this whole thing out. I don't even know how at this point. We gotta reverse everything. Basically start with a little less pistons, I guess. But yeah, we can add that station right along here, if anything. That should work out. So yeah, let's just get rid of these things here as quickly as possible. I think we can start with this area right over here. And yeah, we just need to get all the way over here. We don't necessarily need to redo here. So if anything, we'll save on that by using the junctions. So we just bring it out here. How far do we need? Up to here, I think, right? So that's going to be more or less right there starting. Yeah, that should be it, I believe. And we'll add the drills right over here. Couple of drills. Oh, a lot of drills, actually. We're going pretty far out there. I think up to here. Maybe add one more. But we still need to get everything done back here. So, I mean, did we get all this done? Yes and no. I believe we did, actually. But what we can do is going to be very awkward, but we're going to try it. Because that's always a fun thing to do, is just give it a shot. I mean, 1, 2, I think the furthest, is that gonna clang out onto this thing? It might. Okay, so let's just do let's just do this. Let's see if this works okay. So basically we're just gonna loop this thing over here. Ooh, that's right on it. So that's fine. We could either scrap it or yeah, let's just scrap for now. So honestly, what I was thinking was just scrap the connector because we're probably not going to use it anytime soon. But sure, whatever. We'll just do it this way for now. And that's just an old thing there. Let's get rid of that. Okay, perfect. And we'll put the rest of the drills here if we can. We don't have any plates. Great. Right there. So we should be able to drill it out from there. Just to make it more stable, I guess we just do this for the funsies of it. And now we just gotta get all that drilled out. Or not drilled out, assembled. So that's gonna be fun. So basically, we're gonna use the welder technique that we've done previously. So we're just gonna do it here. Well, we still need to get that junction done first before we can even get this welded up. So we turn this on. And then we just throw in a whole bunch of these welders to get things working as we need it to. Get the drills. Ah, that's perfect. Now we go loopy around this way. And keep going and snake around. So this is perfect. This actually works out really well. I don't know why I've never thought about doing this long time ago, because that would have saved me a lot of time when it comes to welding things together. Technically didn't need that, but okay. Now the welders can be all on, and then we'll watch the magic happen. All right, so that's all done. A little bit of hiccup here and there. We ran out of construction components, is one thing, and we had to produce them. And I take it back. We did need to whitelist this sorter in order for the steel plates to come out of here into anywhere else. So that was a bit of a mistake there. Did I do this? Because it shouldn't really have anything else in here. I would think. Yes, I think I did that. Now, it's not going to be able to come out. I got to take it out myself. Yeah, I think I did that, to be honest. I filled myself up with these mats, and then I threw it in there by mistake, I believe. Oh, I hope that's the case, because everything shouldn't even... Yeah, none of those mats could actually be in there, so that would kind of trap it in there as well. All right, there we go. So we got this thing on now because we're running out of steel plates now. So I guess 2 car containers was and will be a good idea for that. But as you see here, my snake of welders did its job. And we have all these drills here, which is all going to be on a left click drill session anyways. Or a right click drill, I should say. The welders need to be off, so I can throw it all away. This is the tough part. Having all these welders is basically taking them apart, but it's not even that bad. Welding it and grinding it is pretty quick compared to drills itself. Welding a drill, grinding a drill just takes so much out of your inventory that you're always going to be like completely filled up anyways. Like you have to do 2 or 3 quick dumps of resources or materials in order to get it done. But with welders, we have 1, 2, 3, maybe a 4th. Yep. And then dump it. So that is actually pretty quick anyway. So I am not mad about that. But I am surprised. I've never thought about doing this a lot earlier, which makes a lot of sense to do. Okay. So that's done. We'll put a helm here and jump in there. We could do block tools right over here. And then we have our pistons. I don't even know if these are named anything. It probably is. Skimmer. So the skimmers. Only got 3 left, right? That's all we have? Yes, just 3. So the skimmers, I think is a group already. Yep, we just do reverse. And what we can do, since we only have 3 now, we do negative point. Actually, we already have it as 0.1. Okay, that works out. Actually, no, it's not. It's at 0.05, but round it up. Okay. So in this case, now we can flatten everything else out as much as possible by right-click drilling. I'm just going inventory so I can let go of the right-click, to be honest. And then let this do its thing. I think it might destroy that connector fairly soon. Right over there. But we're just flattening out this whole entire section. And then we probably got to go around the opposite direction towards that way. That makes sense. So then we can flatten that out. So we can put in this whole sorting station and control room for it. So we can tell what's running, what's not running if necessary. So that's just prepping for the future. But basically today was just kind of like sorting it all out, basically, with the sorters and also the event controller to make sure everything works out perfect. And it does. So hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. Okay, looks like that's flat enough back here, but we still need to go further back down, closer to the cargo containers back here, and even throughout the power station. So we just got to reverse everything around, where we could extend the piston going the opposite direction. But all this just to kind of get the skimming perfected back here and a little bit further down the line. So we're gonna have to grind everything down as well. Maybe we'll turn the ship into a grinder so we can carry it more, and easier to grind everything down. Although I think we could link up a whole bunch of grinders as well, but I don't think that's gonna be necessary. We're just gonna back it up just a tiny bit more, stop it, and then basically call it a day since we got everything done exactly what we wanted to do today, and that was basically testing out the sorter system with the event controller and cargo containers assemblers. So as you see here, the light's on, so that means we are producing steel plates, and they should be all going into the system now. And once they're filled up, it should turn back off. So we'll take a look at that in a second once we get this thing kind of in place. I can stop the drills right there. In terms of this, I guess, yeah, we don't have much steel plates left, do we? Or am I wrong? Yeah. As you see here, steel plates not doing so much. I mean, it keeps bouncing back and forth. So that, what does that tell me? Do we have something disassembling steel plates? I don't think so. It's bouncing back and forth here. So let's see, where's the steel plates going to? I'm not sure why it's doing that. So if I put that there, put that there, put that there. I think it's just cycling in and out because we did collect all. The bottom out sorter we don't need to do collect all actually. So that's the thing. So this one, or drain all. We don't need drain all for that, so that's fine. The top one going in, that makes more sense to do it that way. So it goes into this cargo container. Right, so there, that looks fine. All right, so steel plate. So it's still gonna go round and round and round, I think. So if you look at, let's just see. If we look at all steel plates, what's doing that? So basically, yeah, it's this steel plate in that's constantly going back and forth, back and forth. So it's dropping off, putting it back in, dropping off, putting it back in. That's what it's really doing. Until it makes enough in terms of production for steel plates. Because we don't have much steel plates as you see here. Just this assembler is making it now. And everything else is going in there. I'm not sure why the co-ops are not working properly. But, it's actually kind of curious. How the other ones are not doing anything whatsoever. So that's odd. Not a big deal. So it's going to fill up on its own that way. So we should be okay. The event controller. So we're getting close to 90%. I guess we could also add in the out. No, the in right here to sort it in just to say if it's 100% or not. So we add the block there, then that would count for, I guess, 333 steel plates, if anything. But this is why it's still on or is using action number 2. So now, right now, that's actually pretty bad because that's gonna constantly go back and forth, turning the system on and off. So I think that's gonna happen once it hit the 90% anyways. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. But this should turn off eventually. Actually, this has actually a nice glow now, I think, because of the lighting. We definitely don't need a vent. I think we just turn the vent off. It doesn't make... I mean, it makes sense to have a vent for an assembler. Because when you're making something, I mean, you should use heat. Yeah, maybe. But a light would be more than enough. But again, this is all going to move anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Whether we use a vent or a light system. We're going to put it elsewhere to make it more efficient. And we will have some kind of system to show what is turned on so we know if it's producing or not. Well, there could be an LCD screen also to say this is on and off. Doesn't matter. As long as it's something simple to do that. Yep. That's off. Yeah, now it's going to go on and off because the sorter in is going to drain everything. So it's going to be a bit of a nuisance event for now. I don't know. How would I fix that? So that's the only big problem I see here when we're doing it this way. Because the drain all is looping around. So basically it's going like this. I wish it didn't have any cargo in here. If there's no cargo, it would have been a lot easier. But yeah, not much we can do about it, is it? Is there? And we turn drain all off doesn't make sense because then it doesn't even go into these cargo containers. So I guess we're just gonna have to deal with that. Know that we're getting towards the tail end of it to turn off forever. But yeah, that's quite annoying actually. So how do we fix that? I don't know. I mean, it's just gonna keep producing until it's pretty much got what it needs, right? So it produces 3 at a time, turns on and off. Is that gonna kill our power? I don't know. I don't think turning on and off something in Space Engineers actually wastes power or more power than in IRLs. I think IRL that might be the case. But yeah. So how do I solve for that? Comment down below because that's an odd piece I can't think of right now. One, because it's late and my brain's not working. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below. And if you want to just say hi, please do so. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.